Hello and welcome to It's a Code U, mental health support for those working in healthcare. This is a podcast created for healthcare employees to explore not only issues relating to mental and emotional health, but also unique challenges that those working in healthcare are faced with. Your hosts are Adina Tucker, a licensed clinical social worker with Dartmouth Health, and Jennifer Hinsey, an MSW also with Dartmouth Health. Hello and welcome to It's a Code U and happy holidays. We thought we'd do something a little different for the holidays and share with all of you some of our own personal thoughts about how to cope with some of the more difficult things and also just how to be more joyful. So, we're going to talk to some of the members of our staff and find out first what is the hardest part of the holiday season and how do you cope with it.
My name's Sarah Roan. I am a psychologist and I'm the clinical director of Dartmouth Health Behavioral Health Solution. One of the hardest parts of the holidays for me is that period after the holidays have ended and all that excitement and buildup, and then you're left in this lull. And one of the ways that I combat that is I have a group of friends, and during the pandemic, we decided to do a Secret Santa to give us some holiday cheer to look forward to. And we had so much fun doing that we wanted to continue it. But when we were trying to make it work with our schedules, we realized it couldn't work over the holidays. And so we ended up scheduling it mid January. And that was so fun to see each other for dinner and exchange gifts in mid January. It really gave me something to look forward to after the holidays. I love the exchange with these friends too, because we don't make a list. And so the gifts are they're really meaningful. It's what the person is thinking about related to you. And it's just this lovely surprise in January that I really enjoy.
I'm Shemaine. I am the behavioral health navigator. A part's been difficult about the holidays and the fact that most of my family isn't near. They're scattered over. I don't get the chance to have a big family gathering during the holidays time. To cope with that, I think that I just try to create my own family traditions. To start with my family here, we try to do non-traditional things a lot of times now, compared to the normal, like Thanksgiving and Christmas stuff. We might do like a Mexican dish or something. Just not the traditional Thanksgiving things.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Chestnut. I'm a marriage and family therapist with Dartmouth Health Behavioral Health Solution. The hardest part of the holiday for me right now is that my grandmother was really the heart of the holidays. So she had a big, huge old house that had been in the family for almost 100 years. And we used to have people over at her house all the time. And she was like the quintessential grandmother. She baked cookies. She decorated like it was a Hallmark Christmas movie. She sang songs in the church choir. And we would go to her church, which was like a lovely old, like 100-year-old stone church in her small town. And there were all sorts of cousins and everything like that, extended cousins that lived in that small town. And she's developed dementia. And so for the past several years, that hasn't been the Christmas. And so that's the hardest part, I think. And I don't know that we have really found like a new normal of what the holidays look like. So I think what I'm coming to the realization too is that like now I'm the grown up and I need to start creating my own family holiday traditions and making it special and not relying on my grandmother to be the one to carry that. So it is hard and everybody's all really spread out. And so, her place was like the central gathering place that everybody would go. So I don't really know how I'm coping with that. I think I'm still navigating my way through that.
One of the things I really love about what Sarah shared here is it really goes to celebrating the holidays doesn't have to happen on the actual holidays. I think sometimes we can get so caught up in the stress of feeling like everything needs to happen on these exact days, which goes to maybe needing to feel like it all has to be executed perfectly and there's no room for change. But that, I feel like, it's just reflective of us shoulding all over ourselves. We should this, we should that, it should be this. But there's a lot of stress in that, right? And it's really constricting too. But being able to make time to celebrate outside of designated days, I think that's a lovely, heartfelt way to still connect and have meaning in your holiday. and find ways to connect with people if it doesn't work out on the exact day of the holiday itself.
No, I also agreed with that. Like, I felt like that was actually a really lovely idea because I have a group of friends that we were getting together like some day before Christmas and doing like an exchange or just spending time together. And it's been increasingly difficult for me to be able to do that just because of schedules. And then I thought, pushing it out would actually be nice because it would be something to look forward to after all the hectic stuff. But I also, what Stephanie had to share really resonated me as well because one thing that I really remember about the holidays, especially me, was my grandparents. My mother's parents lived next door to us for, I don't know, from like fourth grade on. And I was very close with them. And my grandfather's birthday was on Christmas Eve. And so we would do our big Christmas thing. And I even still to this day, I like to do all of the things on Christmas Eve. So we do our big meal on Christmas Eve and all of that. And since he has passed, I've found that there's a little bit of grief and sadness. And then also working through being divorced and that looking different, just when I have the kids versus when I don't have them. And just trying to find like the new normal and maybe tweak some of the traditions or make new ones. And so that's something that like Stephanie still says she's still coping with navigating her way through. I'm still figuring out my holidays as well.
Yeah, what Stephanie mentioned about it being difficult with her grandmother not playing that crucial role or that really significant role in her Christmas tradition anymore. It reminded me that, yeah, for sure, holidays, it really can be a time for grieving too, right? And even if that person is still physically present, but maybe not in the capacity that they used to be or what we remember them to be during those like special traditions, it can almost be even more difficult than if they just weren't there at all. But one thing I did take from what Stephanie shared is that as she is coming to learn, she can now carry on those traditions and in that, really carrying on that memory of her grandmother and the special role she had during the holidays and honor her in that way too, which is nice. I loved what Shemaine shared too about the Mexican dish that they might do or something out of the usual. I think that even when we break traditions, that is still a tradition and can be just special in its own unique way. I love that.
So I really liked what Shemaine shared as well about doing something different because something that's very different from how I've celebrated is that my boyfriend for Christmas, his tradition was that everyone in the house would just get to pick their favorite food. So like from a restaurant and just pick it up. At first I was like, oh no, because I do like cooking the things, but I also think there's like something really nice about that. It's just everybody gets the thing that they love the most. So I think it's really a fun thing to do. And it also like changing it up the way that Shemaine was talking about and really helps you find a creative way to do things and keep it interesting.
Well, now we're going to throw it back to the staff to ask what's the most joyful part of the holidays and how do you lean into that?
Hi, my name is Kristen Cherry. I'm the program manager for Dartmouth Health Behavioral Health Solution. One thing that I find a lot of joy in around the holidays is I'm one of those people who likes to buy gifts for others. And then I really enjoy wrapping presents. So I every year go out and buy like a special wrapping paper that has a theme. And then I get to set up all the stuff on my kitchen island and put on some nice holiday movies, drink some hot cocoa, and get to wrap presents in a really unique way for everyone. And yeah, it's just really exciting when I get to give someone the gift. It's really meaningful to them. And then it's also packaged in this really cool way.
This is Pam Bertolino. I'm an LICSW with DHBHS. The most joyful part of the holidays is spending time with my immediate family, my husband and my two daughters. We do have some traditions. We make pizzelle cookies, Italian cookies that I've always made around the holidays, and sometimes my children help me do that, and that's fun. Mostly all the traditions around food. Traditionally, in Italian families, we make different kinds of fish on Christmas Eve. So Christmas Eve is a big deal for us. My husband makes stuffed squid, which probably sounds gross to a lot of people, but it's actually pretty delicious. And it's just all of us making food together and then sitting down and eating together is probably my most joyous thing to do.
So I really liked Kristen's answer because a long time ago, when I used to watch Oprah every day after school, she would have a lot of holiday episodes and like her favorite things and all of that people are familiar with. But I remember once she had someone on that taught how to do these elaborate gift wrapping things. And I remember, like, to this day, I've several times purchased all these things and I'm just like, "Ah, I just can't do it." So the fact that that's kind of Kristen's thing to lean into is to do these elaborate gift wrapping things, I think is just super fun. And I do like crafting. So I think that's just like a really fun thing to do because then it's like you're getting a gift within a gift. So that's super cool.
Yeah, I love that it's just another way to add a personalized touch to whatever it is you're giving somebody, to take that extra effort and yeah, to use your talents if you have that ability to be really precise or really jazz it up. I think that's a really neat way to just show a little extra love and care with your gifts.
Yeah, I agree. And then Pam's answer about that is probably one of my the way that I lean into joy as well is cooking with my kids. So probably when my son was, I guess he was maybe like 2.5 or 3 the first time we did it. But my grandmother used to make these gingerbread cookies every year that were like very unhealthy. I mean, the recipe I think calls for lard and molasses and all of these things, right? Then like a ton of sugar. So it's her recipe and it takes a long time. So one of the things that we've done every year is I'll do a little advent calendar and most of the days will be like just Hershey's Kisses, but then there'll be little things sprinkled without, like little usually activities that I do with the kids. And that's like really and one of those is the cookie making. And we'll get up and we'll make the dough. And normally they participate less and less with that now. They're like, can you just make it? And then, we have to put it in the refrigerator for a while and then we roll it out and then we have all these cookie cutters. And so they get to pick their shapes. And then once they're baked, then I make buttercream icing and then we have all sorts of little toppings. And then and it takes forever because it makes a lot of cookies. We just sit with Christmas music on and we sit and decorate these cookies and then eat them. So that's one of my favorite things.
Aw, that's wonderful. Yeah, that's great. I really love traditions that involve food. Whether you're eating it together, you're making it together, and doing that with your kids too. That's a really wonderful way to really instill like the meaning of what goes into preparing things for the holidays, and especially if it's something you do every year. And they can take that and when they're adults one day, and maybe if they want to carry that on too. That's awesome. Not really food related, but thinking about how we do lean into joy during the holidays. I was thinking about this time of year, I spend a lot of time just, I don't know, looking around a little more or like looking up more. I don't know, things that try to instill a feeling of awe. It seems like the older we get, every year, it gets harder to grasp that the magic of the season, I think, especially when as you get older, you get busier, you get more hectic and things happen in life. We grapple with all of the grown up hardships that come with life. But the holidays are like a marker for me to slow down a little bit, look around, go outside, stare into outer space, watch like kids somewhere going up and seeing Santa for the first time. All these little reminders that life is a lot bigger than some of the hardships that we endure and some of the busyness that marks our day to day. But it's just a reminder to stop and think about the things that mean most to us.
I agree. I think that that's one thing I've also tried to do more of is just be be more intentional about being present and paying attention to really the joy in little things, which I guess I have started to do that more, but definitely around the holidays, because I think because things are more hectic and there's more things going on, like holiday activities or chorus concerts or sports things or class parties or whatever else. And it's just on top of all the normal day-to-day stuff. And so it can get very overwhelming. So I think that I am one of those people now who will put up decorations earlier. I used to be very militant about putting it up the day after Thanksgiving. It doesn't go up until the day after. And now I'm like, oh, it could go up a week earlier. Or I put up my garland on the stairs because it lights up. So I can put it on a timer and it'll light up once it gets dark. And then I had a night and I'll have all the dark. But it's the lights are very magical to me. So I think there's something that's like super nice about watching TV with this just pretty lights there, and it just with the rest of the lights off, and it's cozy, and especially after like a long day at work or something and you're just feeling tired. I don't know, it's nice.
It is. Yeah. That is really nice. It's a way to come back to what feels joyful, and no matter what the season or the reason, you know?
I heard someone, I don't remember where, this was years ago, I heard someone say that they had gotten a Christmas tree, but they call it a holiday tree now because they keep it up all year. And then sometimes they'll put decorations on it, but sometimes it's just there because they like the lights.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I do something similar starting last Christmas season. I saw a decorating technique of you take like a shower pole and you put it in like a doorway, the archway of a doorway, but you wrap like garland lights. You really jazz up this pole, right? We're not talking like a straight up and down pole. We're talking horizontal through the archway. But you hang it up and you push it all the way up to the top. And once it's all decorated, it's just like a very lovely decor piece. And it's like you have this lovely greenery and boughs over your archway. Well, I did that with a couple of, well, our two archways. And it's really nice. And I just kept it up all year round and add like different things to it depending on the season. But it also just is a way to feel more connected to nature too, even if it's not winter holidays or whatever. It's just nice to see greenery around and have those little lights on.
It's so funny you said that because I, prior to getting divorced, when I had more space for things, I started getting like really deep into wanting to decorate for the holidays and just feeling like I wanted it to look like that movie Elf when you go in and it's like Christmas threw up. And so I had some of those little tension rods that I put in my doorways, and I would wrap like the tinsel garland. And then I went and bought like special like glittery ornaments that were just for that were different height and made them different heights and made a whole thing. So like in the door, there was like two doorways where I hung it up. But that's so funny you said that because I remember being like super excited. I'm like, look how jazzy this looks. You walk under and it's like, wow, it's so festive.
Right? It really adds a little something. That's great. Never underestimate the power of a tension rod and what you can do with it.
Well, we want to acknowledge that while we hear a lot about the magic of the holidays, the reality is that it's difficult for a lot of people. And amidst the difficulties, we hope that you're able to carve out some joy for yourself and yours, however that looks for you. You deserve joy this holiday season and always. And we so appreciate everyone who has listened to us over the last year. This episode is posted on officially our 1-year anniversary of our first episode. We aren't going anywhere. We are in the process of planning out 2025 and all the content that we'll be bringing to you. So if you haven't subscribed, please do so. We'd also love if you'd leave us a rating and review. And if you have any questions or comments, please email us at dhbhs.media@hitchcock.org. And everyone, please have a wonderful holiday season.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.